So real quick, guys, we want to welcome you back to the Raised Hunting Podcast. A couple people have done exactly what we've asked. They've written in reviews. We've had people sharing their ideas on the excuse me, I'm getting a little cold. Sharing reviews and then also asking, hey, would you do this on your podcast? But a couple people that we want to bring out that wrote in reviews and specifically said something. Gary Bateman, we're trying to do what we can, buddy. His one comment was he gave us a great review, but he'd like to see us trying to get louder. So I think our guest today is going to help a little bit with that. He talks pretty loud. So, but anyhow, and then another one is Elite Gonna Eat. And
I love that name.
Yeah, he gave us a great review. We sure appreciate you. Said he doesn't listen to him very often. He's actually trying to get his wife to move to Iowa after watching, and he lives in Northern Virginia, so I can relate.
Oh, smart man, if you like to whitetail hunt.
Well, he said it wasn't so smart. He got the look from his wife. So
we're pulling she'll go.
He's not going.
So anyhow, with that, I just want to introduce everyone and say thank you for being here. And so, again, we got special guests with Warren and Easton are back with me, but the true special guest today is we are doing our podcast from Alabama at the location of the Gamo Squirrel Master Classic at the Southern Sportsman Lodge, and sitting next to me is Mr. Jim. And I want to welcome you because we've gotten to hear some of the stories this whole weekend. And we were like, there's no way we can leave here without not bringing the knowledge that you have, the information, the fun facts to light. So I appreciate you for being here. Thank you.
Thank you. We had a real good classic.
We did.
The world thing was real good.
Especially because we won again.
Yeah. I knew someone was going to throw that in there.
They had to.
Not that we have anything against Michael Waddell or Ralph and Vicky or any of the other teams, or Nick. Now that they have Bone Collector has two teams.
Yeah.
But
I kind of feel bad because we talk so much crap. It probably looks like we hate them.
Yeah, not
but we
at
really
all.
do like them.
When you put competition in, it's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, it is.
For sure.
It's a whole bit. Me neither. Nobody likes to lose.
Right.
If you come in second, you last.
You might as well be.
He coined that phrase too, right? If you ain't first, you're last.
Talladega Nights.
Right.
From Jim.
Who talked about second place?
Nobody.
Have all the Squirrel Master Classics been here?
Yeah.
Okay.
9 of them now.
9 of them, yeah.
Yeah.
It's been going on for 9 years now?
Yep.
Yeah, I think so.
Next
Holy
year will be
cow.
10.
Yeah.
Next year will be the 10th anniversary.
Yeah, then
So
they booked it for next year, so they're going to keep doing it. So
It seems like it gets bigger every year too, as far as well known.
You got the best way you can do to teach a kid to hunt is give him a gun, a 22 or something like that, and let him still hunt squirrels.
Yep.
I mean, it's fun with the dogs and everything because you're going through. That's fun. But you can teach a kid to walk through the woods and sneak on squirrels and know how to get through the woods,
Yep.
real good. It's real good to do that. I did it when I was 7 years old. That's all I did.
Me and you both. Only difference was I was carrying a 410.
Yeah.
I wanted to blow them out of the tree.
yeah, they told us we had.
I wasn't as good a shot as you were, so
you learn to shoot.
Yeah. But and I think that's what I love about the Classic is that we're introducing these 4-H kids to the outdoors and things like that. But the things that you can't teach them, that we're not intentionally teaching them, is the history they see when they walk in this place and they start to, if you're out visiting with them, some of the landowners, some of the dog handlers, everyone has a different perspective, but it's all from hunting.
We got a real good people around that help. Like Kyle and then
tremendous.
A bunch of them that helped us. They helped us with the Buckmasters Classic because we had to take 45 people hunting, and we couldn't do it here. So folks came in and took off work for a week to help us do that.
Yeah.
And so that's how we.
How many years did you guys do the Buckmaster
15,
Classic?
I think.
15 years. Yeah. And some of the pictures that are in here have some of the most elite people in the world.
Oh, yeah. Everybody, I don't think any place has had as many as we have here.
I would say
there's no way.
At
least anywhere that we've been, nobody has anything like what you guys have.
I got
with
a
all the
file for
photos.
it ain't on the wall.
Yeah, that's your daughter was saying the same thing.
Ran out of place to put the pictures.
And what our best asset is, we get return business. Like that picture on the wall right there, there's 5 people in there. That's a total of 165 years of hunting at this lodge.
Holy cow.
And you don't get that.
Yeah.
Right.
Unless you're doing something right.
Right.
you got to be.
When we did our duck hunt with Pop, we thought 3 generations was a lot. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been coming for Well, since we started, almost.
Yeah.
You know. And,
Now, some of the people that have come through here that I recognize, Bo Jackson,
yeah.
Walt Garrison, Barry and Gene Wenzel. Maybe not as they may not be as famous in the general public as
The lady that looks like Mom.
the
Early Mandrell.
the Mandrell sisters. Yeah. That is
Dale Earnhardt.
Yeah, she was a looker.
Yeah.
Dale Earnhardt.
Dale Earnhardt.
Dale Earnhardt.
Yeah.
Davey Allison. Davey Allison was probably the nicest fellow I ever met.
This is going to sound really dumb.
Who's Davey
but
Allison?
Another race car driver.
Okay.
Ernest,
He's from
okay?
Alabama.
I know the Ernest that's a singer now.
Yeah.
You guys are all talking about Ernest of
Comedian.
Yeah, the comedian. He did Beverly Hillbillies, the movie. He was Jed Clampett on the new modern Beverly Hillbillies.
Right. They don't know. Yeah.
And he's a real smart fella. He was real smart. But
you guys
he
got
was not a
picture.
hunter, really. You know, he didn't.
I think, didn't I see Jeff Foxworthy in there as well?
Jeff Foxworthy,
That
Jack
fits.
Youngblood.
Yep.
You know,
Oh, there's. I feel horrible that I started dropping names because there's going to be so many that we forget.
oh, yeah,
And-
you can't get them all. And then the wrestlers were always good, too.
Oh,
We
yeah.
had
Okay,
Mr.
so
Perfect. And,
that's what I.
and we had first year he was Stunning Steve Austin, then he was Cold Stone Steve Austin.
Stone Cold came
Steve.
here.
Yeah, and Big Bubba. And oh,
That's
it was a
awesome.
pile.
What were you going to?
There's pictures on the walls
Yeah.
of you. I want you guys to bring that back. They had a wrestling ring out here, and
Yeah.
people are getting
Is that
body
what I was
slammed and
seeing of
stuff.
people wrestling?
Well, they put on an exhibition out here. They put a ring out back, and they put an exhibition on. And it was, I bet 3,000 people were out here. To see
Only
that.
in the middle of Alabama you
They
get
come
that.
to that. I
Was
mean,
that-
they come to wrestling.
That's crazy.
Was that at the Buckmaster Classic or?
Yeah, that was at the Classic.
And were those like professional wrestlers?
Yeah.
Okay.
The real
Well, if they got
ones.
Stone Cold, then
Yeah.
it's got to be.
What's Stone Cold like? How's he?
He was all right. All of them are big, you know. And I can't think of the man's name. That was one. He was the biggest man I've seen in my life. But had one of that worked with the Undertaker. He was big, and then there was a lot of them.
You had the Undertaker here too?
Not him. I had the big man on there
That worked with him.
The big one.
Yeah, I know which one he's talking about because I played
Big
with him
Show?
on. Is it Big? I think that's his name, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know his real.
I don't know his real
I mean,
name.
but they were all real nice people.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, Stone Cold's a pretty big hunter, I think.
How
So-
do you get them in a tree stand?
Carefully.
Well, forklift.
Yeah. No, you don't. You know. You had to do. Some of them were on the ground. You know.
Right.
You didn't get some of these people up.
Yeah.
And that's a liability purpose. But
Yeah.
we had, Bill Jordan and all that boy, Tinks and Johnny Lee and
Yep.
all of them. Aaron Tippin,
Well,
Mark
what
Chestnut,
I think the
John
coolest.
Anderson. it's
All the country
Too many,
singing.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, Russell.
That's nuts. See, I think
Wade
it's really cool
Boggs,
to see.
Will Clark.
Yeah.
All
How?
that.
So what? How did all those people start coming here? Like how did
Well,
they
they
find
started
out
with Buckmaster because he started it and he asked them.
They invite people.
He invited them
Yeah.
to come, And it started off, all of them came because wasn't none of them in hunting. And then it got later on, you got harder to get them because all of them had their own hunting show after they came.
Yeah.
they come here
That's true.
once.
And all of them bought land and had hunting.
Yep.
Charlie O'Brien, he came all the time. He caught for Atlanta. He caught like 5 Cy Young Award pitchers, And I don't think Maddox would throw to anybody but him. But
Yeah.
he bought a place in Oklahoma or somewhere out there, and he got a big ranch. Now he hunts and stuff.
You listen to John Anderson.
Yeah, Seminole Wind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He always brought his daddy with him. His daddy sat on that porch and waited on him to get in every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool the fact that Dad has always told us about all his VHS tape collections.
Yeah.
And you're the one that was the main, a
were
lot of
making
them.
them.
He was the one making them.
first ever ones.
Yeah,
And
we
then-
were big into that in the early '80s.
Yep.
So they're starting trends with the sayings and comments and everything, and they started the whole hunting industry.
So tell us about that. Like, so I don't really.
Well, I mean, we started off with turkey mainly,
Yeah.
and did that, and then Wayne Pearson came in here and did a outdoor trails thing. We had all the turkey hunters: Ben Lee, Kirby, Paul Buskey, Billy McCoy, Eddie Salter, Rob Kick. All of them were here
like
at
the
that one
turkey
thing.
hunters.
Yeah.
The turkey hunters.
I've heard you talk about Eddie.
Yeah.
So what was Eddie's claim to fame?
A lot of turkey call manufacturers were barbers. They cut hair.
Really?
Yeah, Kirby did. Eddie Salter did. I think one or two more did. I don't know why, but that's just what it was.
Huh.
But I think a lot of them made their name because they were world champion turkey callers.
Yeah, they were getting
whether
the calling
natural voice.
contest.
Yes.
Okay.
And
You really want to know, the fellow that promoted turkey calling more than anybody around was Ben Lee. And nobody really knows him now. He's from Coffeyville, and he was the first world champion, and he won all the calls and everything. He made calls, and he hunted with us a lot. And he just brought turkey hunting to another level. Then he got old, and he kind of, faded out a little bit. But he was a good hunter.
So whose idea was it to start filming the hunts?
Your callers started it because that's how they were selling calls.
Okay. So
we did
video
a
and
lot
stuff.
of them for Paul Buskey and Dick Kirby.
And I had so many of Paul Butsky's videos, along with Eddie Salters, and then what I think Warner Easton mentioned a minute ago, though, was Barry and Gene Wenzel kind of started. They weren't the first, but it was one of the first when they did Hunting October Whitetails.
One of the best ones.
Absolutely.
It was the best one, really.
Well, you'd see all those bucks come running because they do this little push. And they even did a whole segment in there where they would show people how they were shooting deer on the run with a tire. That's how they put a balloon in a tire and roll it, and he would practice shooting it. What was the other? There was a third guy that was
Paul Schaefer was one.
Paul Schaefer made the bows.
Yeah, he made the bows, but they had their bows.
Yes.
Yeah, and
Paul, the reason these guys know Paul Schaefer's name or recognize it, all the mounts that are in the Great Falls Airport in Great Falls, Montana,
those are all.
That's his collection because he ended up dying on a ski hill. Yep.
Doing what?
Skiing, and he ran into a tree.
He came here hunting.
Wow, that is
And he left out of here one morning, and I told him, I said, you going to put no more clothes on? He said, we were used to this weather around here. I said, it was about 23 degrees, and it was a wet cold here. He said, we used to this. They put him in that swamp down there, and he liked to froze. I mean, he liked to froze. Next day he had clothes on when he went out here.
I don't blame him.
It's a different cold here.
Yeah, for sure.
With how much moisture in the air?
Yeah, it's a wet cold. And it'll get to you.
What I think the coolest thing about coming down here is the culture, because in Iowa, living there, whitetail hunting is huge.
Yeah.
But even if you talk to everybody in Iowa about whitetail hunting, you're not getting the history behind whitetail hunting. It's just they've all done it with their grandpa or whatever. But you come down here and turkey hunting is your guys' like huge thing.
See,
but there's tons of history with it.
Yeah, we didn't have deer till the 60s.
Okay.
They wasn't here. They put them in. Wisconsin deer, they put them in on the river up here.
Yeah.
In the late 50s and early 60s. But they took off because we were a real farming area, and then we planted soybeans a lot, and they just thrived.
Yeah. Huh.
And it worked out. But what we did was we brought deer hunting in, and back then you could shoot a deer a day. That's what we were advertising.
That's what I kept hearing.
Now, I mean, you put a deer a day on your brochure, you're going to get people.
Yeah.
Because it was – and we killed – back then, we probably killed 500 deer some years.
Holy cow.
That's a lot of cleaning, too.
A lot of work.
Yeah.
A lot of work.
Yeah,
Well, your son was saying that you guys have brought 45 people in one day to hunt 45 people in one day. I'm sitting here thinking if we bring somebody to come hunt, we're like stressed with 2 or 3 in a day.
Well, we did it. We did it back in the 80s and 90s. We took 28 people a day every day.
Oh, man.
I had 7 guys. Each guy took 4 people every day, and he had like 2,000 acres to hunt on.
Where did you sleep, everybody?
Well, it'll sleep 28 in the lodge.
You can sleep 28 here?
And I sleep 10 in the house behind.
Jeez.
And back then, I don't know. I always say TV kind of ruined deer hunting because now people won't sit on a stand we were sitting them on in the 80s. They'll laugh at you if you think you're going to sit in that stand right there.
Right.
Yeah. I got to have a box with, heaters
something
and windows
nice
and
and
all that
warm
stuff.
way more.
And I say, it turned into a richer person's hunting.
So
we tried to keep our prices down so we could get the average folks.
Well, I tell you right now, with how much you guys charge a day, I didn't think it was that much. But the amount that I hunted this year, you guys would have made a whole entire year's salary.
He figured it up in the truck the other day. What'd you say is going?
$27,500 is what I would have spent on deer hunting this year.
That's how many days he sat to shoot a deer.
But most people, they hunted here because you could kill deer, and the season lasted so long. Everybody's season was out when we were still hunting.
Right.
Yeah.
So they would come down here. I had people from Michigan and New York up there that did road work and all that. Well, they laid off in January.
Yep.
So a bunch of them would come down here and go hunting, and that's how that worked. And then they could kill a deer a day.
And is it
And
how
back
hard?
then, one time we could kill all the does we wanted.
It was unlimited.
Yeah, I mean, we had tags. We had so many tags every year then.
Yeah.
We just all we had to do was tag them
Right.
until we run out.
Is it not hard for a non-resident to come hunt here?
Mm-mm. No, you
It's
can get
all over the counter.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get a license online.
Yeah.
And then you just come down here. But our rules are a little different. We are 6 point or better, and it's got to be outside the ears. Because a lot of our young deer don't get time to grow.
Yep.
And you give them an extra year, then you get a 3-year-old. You get a third of or half of your deer make it to 3 years old.
So is there a fine or something if you shoot something under that?
Yeah, we got a fine on it if it's under that.
Okay. And that's just for your guys' place?
That's just us. That's
Okay.
our rules.
Yep.
And you can't kill but $3 in the state of Alabama now. One can be a spike.
Yep.
Then the other two got to be bigger.
Huh.
And
So I want to go back a little bit though, the filming, because last night we were talking a little bit. And you were talking. The cameras ain't the same.
No.
The cameras that we're filming with here now look like pocket change.
And we didn't have blinds.
That's the other thing. Yeah. No.
It
ground.
didn't have decoys either.
Right. So it was just
So,
truly
so
call
it
a
was
turkey.
you calling the turkey and not moving when that joker came in and try to shoot him with a bow because you got to move to shoot him.
That would be tough.
And it was tough.
And film it.
Yeah, and film it.
Yeah. That.
And I mean, y'all know what that beta cam looked like. It was about that wide, that long, and that tall.
Oh yeah.
Without any decoys, how were they getting the full draw?
Well, you had to set them up kind of with a tree or something,
In between, yeah.
Yeah, you had to get him when he was moving.
Yeah.
But it was tough now.
I bet.
We got on a lot of turkeys, and we got a lot of video of turkeys, but we didn't get them.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how you do it without, like, sitting against a tree with your bow and no decoys. Because I was just telling him you could do it if you just wait for them to turn around when they're strutting or something like that. But if you have no reason for them to turn around,
well, you can do that. If you don't call at him for a minute, he's gonna look around. And you got to know a lot more about turkey hunting to do that.
The calling is more impressive to me because
yeah.
I know the amount of times that I've called a turkey in and he gets hung up at 60 or 70 yards, and I can move the decoy.
Yeah.
That gets him. Without the decoy, he ain't coming in.
Well, I've hunted with all of them, and Paul Buskey was probably the best one ever in the woods.
Yeah.
He could figure out a turkey.
They could all blow calls.
They could all blow calls. He was good. Dick Kirby was good, but Paul, I would put him at the top.
Right.
And
there are, and I do think
and now they perfected the call so much for the calling contest. They're not calling turkeys; they're making the sound perfect.
Right.
Yeah. You got to have a perfect sound.
And I bet half the time when they're in the woods, they're not using half those sounds.
No, you got to know when to call and when not to call.
That's it. I agree with that 100%.
And what made Paul so good? What made
he can figure out a turkey better than anybody I've ever seen.
Just as far as like when to call, when not
When to call. I went with him one time up here, and in the evening we were sitting there, and he made a turkey gobble one time, and he didn't say another word for 45 minutes, and that turkey walked right up to us.
Wow.
I mean, you got to know that. That's kind of
Right.
you got to know something about it.
You had to have been in that situation more than once.
Yeah.
To get
And
that.
he was working for Quaker Boy back when he started. He worked with Quaker Boy, and he's the one who invented the full reed cutting call.
Mm.
Yep.
And now everyone's got one.
Everybody got them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy to see how things have changed,
And all kind of stuff like that. Billy McCoy invented the hooter that you blow real loud a duck call, not the one that got the little hole in it and you go ooh, ooh, ooh.
Yep.
The one that you blow hard.
Blow hard.
He invented it, and a fella tried to steal it from him. He got ill about that. Well, he did steal it, really.
Huh.
Dang.
But that's.
what
But
was,
I mean, we've, like you said, there's a lot of history here because there's been a lot of people through there.
well, what was the first year of the Southern Sportsman's Lodge?
82.
82.
This year was my 41st year of taking folks deer hunting.
Wow.
And then how did you guys get started? And then are you the sole owner, or did you do this?
Well, no, it was a group of us at one time because we were farming. All of us were farming, and we all hunted. And this boy named Steve Elmore had a place up here. He was hunting, a big hunter, bow hunter. He came up with the idea, and he got with us. We all met with him. And
So is he the one that had the golden triangle idea?
no,
Okay.
He wanted to start a lodge, and he was going to run it.
Okay.
So we borrowed money from Dave Daddy and bought a double-wide trailer and set it up. He had a wife and 2 kids, and he was going to run it. And I think he saw right off it wasn't going to be a lot of money to start with, so he pulled out and left us with it. We done borrowed the money then, so we had to go, So started in 82, and it was, a little slow then, but then we got advertising and stuff, and it just kind of took off,
How did you start advertising?
I don't know. We went to shows and stuff like that, and then we had articles made. We had a fellow named Lee Lawrence was a writer, and he would write an article for you and get it published. He didn't really care about deer hunting, but he would get you an article published.
So that
And I think he's the
magazines
one. Him and Billy McCoy came up with the books of the Golden Triangle. That was the first article that went out like that.
How many partners did you guys have?
It was 3 of us really.
3.
Me and Dave and George Elijah. We finally bought George out, and then he died about 5, 6 years ago. And then me and Dave.
So the land that you guys were hunting, how did it was like?
It was
you
all
lease
like
that or
it was all
permission?
like old family land.
Okay.
The people, old people, they owned it, and we leased it from them. Most of them. Some of them we farmed it, and we got the hunting rights.
Right.
But what happened to us was we advertised this area so good that it raised the prices.
Yeah.
The land rents went up, and we were the one did it.
Right.
It's like working yourself out of business.
Right.
Because, it went up. I even told the landowner one time, I said, y'all ain't spent a dime to raise these hunting rights, and we did. And he gave me a little cut that year.
Yeah, there you go.
But they all died out, and the children either sold the land or cut all the timber or something. They had to have money out of it.
So is that what?
Some of them still got it, but very few.
How much do you guys have now? Still
Probably 4,000 to 5,000 acres.
45,000.
4 to 5.
45,000.
Yeah.
Was it? It used to be 6,000 or something like that.
No, it used to be 25,000.
Oh wow.
Probably. You couldn't hunt it all when we had it back then.
Whew. That's a lot though.
How do you even keep track of that much?
It was a job.
Yeah, I bet.
It was almost a month with 2 teams planting food plots.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet.
Back then you had food plots. Now you bake corn. I don't know why we plant food plots. We do it anyhow.
I found that interesting. All the corn feeders that you see around here is all in a food plot too.
Yeah.
It's right in the center of the food plot.
What year did you guys start
My
planting
opinion
food
of
plots?
deer hunting is not shooting one on a feeder.
Yeah.
I grew up the old way where we climbed a tree. You looked for where the scrape lines were, and you hunted the deer.
Yep.
Now you sit on the feeder and wait on them to come out there. And it cost me a fortune to feed them.
Yeah.
But if you ain't feeding, your neighbor's feeding, and he's got the deer.
Yeah. What? So all that ground. How many guides did it take to be able to?
We had 7 guides.
7
That's
guides.
it?
7. Each guide took 4 people every day.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
28. That's all we could have.
So they just dropping them off or putting them in certain
They're
spots
putting them in
and
the
actually
stand
sitting
and
with
picking them up, and
Okay.
they go look for the deer and all that. And they're responsible for putting those 4 people on deer.
Yeah.
And they got tips from the hunters and stuff, so the better job they did, the better they did.
Yeah.
And we paid them too. So we furnished them a truck just about and a 4-wheeler and all that. And at one time, we had 4,000 acres of this swamp out here.
Wow.
And you could take a fella 30 minutes in that swamp on a 4-wheeler, and he thought he was going to kill one every time you put him out.
Yeah.
Because he's like going in a jungle.
Yeah, it looked like,
Nobody's ever seen that.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to find one of these 8-track tapes that I got of a fellow from Pennsylvania filmed 3 or 4 4-wheelers coming out of the swamp in water this deep in a Rhine with a deer all on it and people sitting all on the deer and everything. It's just
That's crazy.
It's just unreal.
That's cool.
So was it your advertisements, or what was it allowed you to all of a sudden have that many hunters to take?
It was probably advertisement, and then in '86 or '7, that's when Buckmaster came in, and that was a lot of publicity.
Okay.
We got all the publicity we wanted then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But back then, we did it through the turkey hunts and stuff like that. We used to take a lot of folks turkey hunting because we had the land. and through Buskey and Dick Kirby and all them advertising the turkey hunts here, we did good with that, and then we just worked it into the deer hunting.
Huh.
So were you doing this full time?
Well, we
farming as well.
We were farming till 80. About the time we started the lodge, most of us went broke farming.
Yeah.
Jimmy Carter was president.
Yeah.
Interest went to 21%.
Wow.
Put the grain embargo on Russia, and soybean went to $4 a bushel, and everything went up, but what we were getting for them.
21% interest?
Yeah, it broke everybody down there just about.
Wow, I thought 7% was bad.
That's what it was. That's what it was in 81 and 2 and long now.
And so you guys, was that kind of like, all right, we got to really focus on the lodge and making sure that this works?
Yeah, and then it just took off. It got bigger and bigger, and we got to getting people from up the East Coast, a lot.
Yeah.
New York, Pennsylvania, up that way, and then even in North Carolina, and then Florida was a big draw because they ain't got real big deer in Florida. You can make a fellow from Florida pretty happy hunting,
Yeah.
We got big groups come from there now.
What year did you guys start doing food plots?
That's when we started.
In the 80s?
82.
Why did I think that wasn't even a thing until like at least
Because it's
the
just
90s?
not getting publicized more than anything.
No,
I
we
think.
did it all. We did it from the start.
What were you planting?
We always planted wheat and crimson clover.
Wheat and crimson clover?
And we used to sling it out and disc it in, but then I bought a Great Plains no-till drill and saved me about half the money on seed because you could set it for how much seed you wanted out, and the clover would come up and the wheat would come up. We were throwing a lot away.
Right.
Yeah.
Slinging it in the bushes, covering it up too deep, thinking it's an acre and it's a quarter. We were just putting it out.
And I can tell you that guys are still doing that today.
Oh, yeah.
Still messing it up. But if you're not doing it to make money, if you're just doing it as a hobby, it's a lot of money to spend to have a no-till
that's
drill.
What people are doing now. You got people that if you get in a hunting club, you pay the dues, and then you got to do the food plots and the fertilizer and all that, and everything's so high now. They you come hunting, 4, 5 days, 6 days a year, and not spending much money.
Save money. Yep, for sure.
You don't fool with nothing. You just come and go.
Yeah.
And the price of land's going up because they're not making any more land, and it's more people with more money.
Yeah. What the whitetail hunting though here is, it baffles me because when we go for the Squirrel Master Classic, we're walking through all these places, and like Kyle's telling us, oh, there's a stand that we shot this deer out of and stuff. I don't get how you funnel them down to anything. It is so random, it seems like, and so open in the trees. How are you guys?
Yeah, well, it's a lot different from hunting up north. You can pattern a deer up there. You can't pattern a deer here. He'll come through there, but he ain't coming through there every day.
Yeah.
Right.
You got that deer in the 11 point on the wall in there. I hunted that stand 11 days in a row before I killed that deer.
Was that over a scrape or what?
Well, it was over a food plot we had in a bean field. We planted a food plot in a bean field where they'd combine them.
What time of year was that?
That was probably in late December.
So when's your rut?
Middle of January.
Middle of January.
Oh, that is weird.
What?
So late.
So
everybody's through.
Yeah.
But our rut is spread out a little longer. It's I don't know. It starts because I think we got 2 or 3 different kinds of deer. You got some from Wisconsin, some from somewhere else, and they got some came in from Georgia, that way. And I think that's why the rut's a little bit different.
Huh. That's pretty neat. That you got that. I mean, it like he said. It just this time of year, because it's February now. So you guys just finished hunting not too long ago, didn't you?
And bucks are still chasing does right now.
And it's what, February 20 something?
I saw a buck chasing doe 2 years ago, the opening day of turkey season.
What in the world?
Jeez.
With no antlers probably either.
No, he had antlers, but we also saw one last week that already lost his horn.
Right.
And that's really early for you guys, right?
It's usually the 1st of April,
So October 15th is when you guys open, right?
That's bow season coming, October 15th.
Are some of your whitetails have velvet still?
Yeah, some of them do. We have killed them with velvet then.
Man, that's crazy. Ours is October 1st. And we pretty much, no chance of getting velvet.
I think they put it October the 15th, and you can't shoot does until the 25th or something like that of October. You can kill bucks, but you can't kill does.
Why do they do that?
Because they still got little ones about that big.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, we got deer that had fawns in September probably, you know.
Goodness gracious.
I mean, we see them born in September.
Jeez. Do your deer
spread out?
Do your deer get on summer patterns where, like, they will?
Yeah.
In the Midwest, we'll have deer where they're super consistent in the summer.
Well, they come to these croplands, you know. They're eating in the croplands mainly in the summer. But, you know, they say a deer is supposed to eat from a foot off the ground as high as he can reach. He's a browser, you know. Now we're making them eat off the ground, you know, and stuff like that, and that's not real good because that's where you get worms and stuff like that, you know. And I don't know. I think it's feeding them is going to hurt us in the long run.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't in Texas and all that, but I just think eating out the same place with all the deer is got a chance of messing things up.
Do they talk about CWD down here?
Yeah. And they've gotten real strict on it now, you know. If you go out of here, you got to bone the deer out. You can't go to Florida, Georgia, or Mississippi without boning it out. You can't take any bones with it.
Right.
And or the head, can they?
Yeah, they can if they boil it out, you know, if you clean it out all together.
Yep. So same as Iowa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But, you know, you got outlaws that are bringing deer in here. No, you can't kill. We ain't got enough help to stop all of it.
Right.
Yeah, and we've had some high fence folks that got out, you know. Storms tear it down and they get out, stuff like that. And, you know, high fences might, I don't know, I would not say that, but it might be what gets us in the long run.
No, I think everyone kind of knows that, you know, that high fences could be that's where they say CWD started.
Yeah.
You know, it came from a domesticated elk, and then that started the whole thing, the whole process.
Why does it seem?
Well, I think I thought Bob just told me one time that blue tongue, our deer won't get blue tongue. The ones that do die from blue tongue down here were brought in deer.
And did he tell you why?
They're immune to it or something.
So I did a bunch of research on it 2 years, they also are now saying that they believe that blue tongue is a 7-year cycle.
Yeah.
That it's like a cicada, you know, when the cicadas come.
Every 7 years.
And if you don't have the right weather for there to be a lot of those midges, then you won't have a bad blue tongue explosion. Yeah. But if you do, then what you're going to see is a big die-off that year because of – and see, we see that in Iowa.
We hadn't had a die-off, but they've had some in New York now too. The folks I know up there said they found – one place they found 700 deer dead in one county over there.
Wow.
You know.
Yeah, well, Warren County was 400 and some.
Yeah, we in Iowa, we'll see that if it's bad.
Yeah. And I don't –
That would make sense, though, because you guys have perfect conditions for –
all the time.
Yes.
Yeah. And so, therefore, they build up an immunity to it.
Yep.
Well, that's what I heard, but I don't know that for a fact, but I've heard that from them.
I would think it makes sense.
Well, I heard the same thing. It came from a biologist, and it does make perfect sense.
Yeah.
What's the biggest deer you guys have ever killed here?
Probably in the 160s. We had 3 in the Safari Club book for Southeastern Whitetail at one time. We had one that was 16, 27, and 36 or something like that. And folks from New York killed them, I think. But we have killed some 150 class here, you know. But you get it. A 140 is a good class around here, a good deer.
Yeah, that sounds like a big deer.
Well, they are, and we've killed 140s, you know. But the more hunting pressure, the smarter the big deer get. I mean, we got people getting pictures of them on cameras, but they don't move in the daytime.
Yeah,
you know.
Is there what's the average deer that you guys kill? Like, what's a deep
115,
115,
115, something about 120 maybe.
Okay,
not average, but we get those.
Do you think there's more hunting pressure now or 20 years ago?
Yeah,
more now.
Oh yeah,
really,
a lot more. A lot more people living here too.
Yeah,
you can go out on one of these hills and look back when we were started. You couldn't see a street light nowhere. Now it looks like a Christmas tree if you go up a hill and look out there. You know, it's people living where those lights are.
Yeah, I was just telling these guys, we moved to Iowa 12 years ago, and we bought 50 acres, and then we bought 2 small tracts, 40 acres and an 80-acre piece. And since I've been there in 12 years, there's now 12 new neighbors. Now, they're not right beside me, you know, but they're there. But they're there, and each one of them, I believe, at least 10 out of the 12 are hunters.
Yeah.
And so therefore they're killing a deer, you know, and so it definitely is. And more parcels are getting bought and cut up.
Yeah,
so
they
that
separate them out a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting too many people.
Yeah, it makes it tough.
But now people are coming from California and New York, everywhere they're moving here because the taxes are not high and the land's cheaper, way cheaper than what they can get it, you know. And, I mean, we got people buying houses in Loudoun County that from California, they ain't never looked at it. They just send the money and buy it.
Wow,
You know.
that's crazy too.
What now you were talking a little bit about some of the people that come to hunt here are not from, I mean, like how far away is the furthest person you've had come hunt here?
I had a fella call from California yesterday. Know.
But now I think
but I mean
you get some from other countries.
Yeah, we have had some from other countries, you know.
What is that
Canada.
like? I mean, do they?
Yeah,
have,
well,
Greece.
most of the ones from
Really?
other countries like Iran or somewhere, the doctors or something come in, all they want to do is shoot a gun.
oh, really?
Yeah, they can't shoot guns over there, so if you give them 5 bullets and a gun, they're gonna shoot them. It might be at a can down there or something. They're gonna hear it go off.
That's funny.
Gotcha.
Interesting.
I mean, don't give them more than 5 because they'd shoot everything they had.
How did so now with the internet? I guess anyone could find you guys,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But
We're
I mean,
on the internet, and you know, I want to put this plug in. We just bought Cracker Boy Seasoning, which is a seasoning company.
Seen the
And we
things
we took over the first of the year, and we are starting to sell it here. It's
Okay.
on
Cool.
the internet too.
Yeah.
So.
What was the name of it?
Cracker Boy.
Cracker Boy.
Seasoning.
Yeah.
Okay, and where can everybody
And
find that
you
online?
look, it's on Southern Sportsman Seasoning on the internet.
Southern Sportsman Seasoning. All right.
Yeah, and it's a real good seasoning. I've been using it on the chicken here for 15 years.
Yeah.
And that's good chicken.
And
Well,
we're noted for the chicken.
Yeah.
Old T-Bone call. He was on a podcast with Bushman not long ago, and the only thing he could talk about was the fried chicken.
That's saying something. You got him off of Cheetos.
Well, I'm pretty sure we had 100 people here. You know,
Yeah.
this past week or 50 at least.
It was 100 we fed every day.
Right, and everyone couldn't wait for the fried chicken day.
That's what they
you
were
know.
waiting on.
So,
Yeah.
no, that's cool. Now and then also, I mean, you've been doing this. You said 41 years, right?
Yeah.
But your daughter has taken over.
Well,
Ashley,
I'm trying to back out a little bit. You know, I like to play golf,
right?
so we're trying to back out a little bit. And my daughter Ashley is handling that, the catering part and the meals, and she talks to the hunters. She books the hunters, and because she's internet prone and all that. And Logan, my son, he helps me do the food plots and keeps up with the hunting part pretty good.
Yeah.
I've never had him take anybody that didn't call and wanted to go with him the next year.
That's good.
You know,
That's
because
really
that's a real good thing.
Yeah.
But I tell a story all the time. He grew up out here. He was, I think, 8 years old. And he was out there on the porch talking to a hunter. And the fella came in the door shaking his head. And I asked him, I said, that boy not bothering you out there, is he? He said, hell no. I think I just had an intelligent conversation with an 8-year-old. So
Yeah,
he grew up here, you know, in this.
He was teaching me about fields and for like planting food plots and stuff in the 10 or 15-minute conversation I just met him.
Yeah. Oh, he can talk.
You seem to love it, though.
And they seem to like him too. Most people really like Logan.
Yeah.
And so I've been at 41 years. It's a little harder to do it, so I'm trying to back out. And my other daughter, Kayla, is running the seasoning part of it.
Okay.
Because she's teaching high-level math in school, so she does numbers real good.
Oh, so she's a part of it too?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I
all
thought she was
three
just
of
a teacher.
She's a teacher right now, but
Yeah.
we hope we get the seasoning thing going enough
Right.
so that will do, you know. And I want all 3 of them to have something to do, and if they'll run the whole thing, they can all make a living out of it.
Yep.
You know.
That's cool.
Where did so when did you guys make your own seasoning, or did you buy a company?
No, we
of it or
bought it
something?
from a fella I've been getting it from for years. He wanted to get out of it, and 3 or 4 folks wanted it, but he wanted us to have it. 'Cause
That's cool.
I'm good friends with him. And
That's cool.
so the first show we went to in Nashville at the turkey thing, and we did good there. But my children don't know whether they like doing shows or not because it's a lot of work.
Well,
He hates them.
When I told them they don't need to go to Harrisburg, 'cause
right. Me and you talked about that one.
we went there.
Oh my gosh.
No. We left 2 days after deer season, taking 4 a day for 31 days or 35 days or so. Got in the vehicle and drove to Pennsylvania. Took 2 days, set up a day, a 10-day show, 12 hours a day, 3 days to get home. Hell, we couldn't. We were through.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't.
Spent.
800,000 people came through it while we were there. You can't.
Yeah, Harrisburg.
It's hard to do that.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah. You do a weekend. They doing like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You can handle that. You can't handle 10 days.
Is it that many people now?
Yeah.
It's still
I
that
think
many?
it's more than that.
No, it's cut back since the NRA bought it, and then it sold there and everything, and but it's still in the hundreds of thousands.
Yeah.
They cut the days off too.
Yeah, they took some. It's now starts on a Saturday, ends on the next Sunday.
That last Monday wasn't nobody there. It wasn't much to that last Monday. I think it's more for the exhibitors than it was anybody else.
Yep.
But we did all the shows for a while, and then we quit doing them.
Well, the nice thing is, if you got 3 of them though that are looking to take it over, they can trade out. One of them doesn't have to go all the time to the shows. Because I agree, we have another show to do this next week at the Iowa Deer Classic, and
they're going to Dixie Deer Classic in Raleigh.
Oh yeah,
this coming weekend, and then they come back and we do the 25th. We go to South Carolina, Columbia, South Carolina, I think.
Well, Mr. Jim, all I can tell you is that I could sit here all day, every day, and hear the stories and look around. I mean, just as we're talking, looking at some of these deer, and you probably know every one of them. I know you mentioned that one was from Montana.
Yeah.
And then I think you were telling me about the one that was killed back here.
Mike Boddicker killed one over there, pitcher for Kansas City.
Okay, and then Warren was asking about the sheds there. All the sheds from the same buck. Right.
We had one in the pen out here.
What's been your favorite thing of doing this for 40 years? Like, has it been the hunts? Has it been the people? Has it been
probably been the people? It wasn't to start off with. I didn't like it at all because we like to hunt, and I didn't like to try to make people happy,
Yep.
And finally, I made it my deal was to make a game out of it, to figure out the people I'm taking hunting. Like, I would try to figure out your mind and make you happy by figuring the whole thing out, and hunting you like you wanted to and trying to make you happy. But, you're not going to make 10% of the public happy anyhow.
Right.
And it might be more than that.
Yeah, some people
but we got such a return business deal, I think we're doing pretty good with it.
Yeah, I would say you guys are doing good after 41 years.
Yeah.
Do you guys do any advertising?
We're one of it's a few still around it, but it was a lot of them at one time, Farmers popped up taking 4 or 5 people a day for extra money in the wintertime, and then it kind of phased out a little bit.
Do you guys do any advertising now, or you don't have to?
No.
Yeah.
We used to have one ad in the Buckmaster book. We got it for doing the classic. They just put one in for us, and we did that. And Bushman plugs us every time he can. He helps us out a lot.
When did you meet Bo Jackson? When did Bo Jackson start coming here?
I knew Bo Jackson when he was at Auburn.
When what?
When he was at Auburn.
Before
really?
pro.
Before the thing, and then he came to the first 3 or 4 classics.
Okay.
But we knew him then. He used to come by here and stop to go to the bathroom with his children. His mom-in-law lived in Thomaston down here, and they come from Auburn this way, and he stopped.
So
my partner played football at Auburn too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that how you knew Bo? When did you meet Bo?
No, I met both. We met him. I don't really know. It was before the classic though.
Yeah. Seems like a pretty cool guy.
Yeah, he was an athlete.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no doubt about
Incredible.
that.
Probably ain't another one like him. I'm reading a book on him right now. It's a book just came out about him, a legend, a folklore. Because back when he was coming up, they didn't have all the cameras and stuff. They didn't film all the things he did. And this fella documented the things he did, and it's unbelievable.
Yep.
I saw him play baseball in Selma once or twice. Used to play Livingston in Selma. Called it Tiger Classic.
Did he play multiple sports at Auburn too?
Yeah.
Okay.
He ran track, played baseball and football.
Okay. I didn't know if he had gotten into
and was good at
pro
all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good, right?
Yeah, good wasn't even the word.
Yeah. No.
So who is your most favorite person you said that you've had here, the comedian?
Well, he was all right. The one I liked the most was Davey Allison, the race car driver.
Okay.
He was good,
What was
Aaron Tippin. I'm real good friends with Aaron Tippin too,
And Aaron Tippin was
He's a singer.
Country singer.
Singer, okay.
I got it on my phone.
And he killed his first buck down here with Dave Watson on Secrets of the Hunt. And he killed an 8-point with a bow on film. And they showed that. And that was a real good advertisement thing, too.
Yeah. What was it about those guys that made them stand out? Were they funny to be around?
They were just nice, easy to talk to, just down-to-earth people.
Yep.
You got some that ain't real down-to-earth,
Yeah.
And
yeah, that's a good question. Who's the biggest asshole?
no, I ain't say that. Probably a little list of that.
Yeah.
A longer list than the good ones.
What was
Way to put it bluntly.
Well, I mean, we're just going to be real here, right?
Yeah.
What was one of the funniest things you ever had happen here, or one of your most memorable stories at the lodge? That's got to be hard to pick, but there's got to be something that was like super notable.
Well, it's one I tell all the time. I did it myself. I had a fella in the swamp down here, and he had an amateur climber, and we had them bolted together. And he told me, he said, I love to stand and everything, but it's too like this when I get up there. I said, well, I'll go in there the next morning with the wrenches, and we'll set it like you want it, fix it up.
Yeah.
I said, all right. So we went in there, got in there for dark. I set the stand, got my bearings, trying to get back to the four-wheeler, was out there a couple of 100 yards or so. I got lost. And I walked around, and I came back up on the man in the stand. And I said, is it all right? He said, yeah, I appreciate you checking on me. It's fine now. Well, I got to get my bearings right now, sure enough. So I found the four-wheeler that time.
That's funny.
I can't walk up on him again because I don't run out of stuff to say.
That was quick thinking.
And we used to have 3 old men from Pennsylvania came every year. Opening week and between Christmas and New Year. And they came in a long wheelbase Ford truck, 1 seat. All of them smoked. And they came here to shoot deer. That's what they came to do, is shoot deer. And the old man always shot deer. And he was behind the lodge here, and I went over to pick him up and said, I shot a big 8-point, and went off that way. We looked, couldn't find nothing. So I said, I tell him at the car, we'll come back the next day and look. And me and Seymour, the other guy, went over there after he went hunting that morning. We found it was a spike and went this way. So he got back from hunting that morning. You find my deer? Yeah, Mr. Carr, we found it. But you the luckiest man I know. He said, what's that? I said, well, we'd have waited another hour to go get him. He'd been a doe.
Oh, that's funny.
Now, and I don't remember who it was, but yesterday we were talking, and you made a scrape for someone.
Oh, yeah. Back when we started, this was before the lodge, so I had this fellow friend of my mama's, went to school with his mama, and he made him come up here. I agreed to take him hunting. Well, then I had him. He just moved in. But he was into scrapes and rubs and all that stuff, and we didn't do that.
Yeah.
We knew about it, but hell, nobody did that. We were hunting bean fields and stuff. It was in the 70s. He wanted to kill a big deer, so I told him, I said, I think that helped that I got, they walked from that hog house over there. They saw a big buck in that pecan orchard over there. Well, the day before, I'd gone over with a rake, and I made a scrape big as this room. I wrung off a tree up there that big around and wrung it off and put feet prints in there and horns right. He came back, his eyes with his big. He's the biggest son in the world over there. I think he sat on it 3 days.
He didn't see a single deer, did he?
Well, he did kill a spike in the scrape.
In the scrape? That's funny.
And then I got to thinking about that, when he was the first one to bring tanks up here. He got it off the thing. And so I was up here. He taught me into using it. So I was going to climb a cedar tree on a place I had up here. So I walked around the field and he put them little cotton balls out,
Yep.
I got to the tree and I walked out there and I put one on a stick out in front of the thing. I got up the tree and I'm sitting up there. I hear this stop. Come right under the tree and walked out there. It was like 8-point deer. Like that. Walked right out to the scrape, to the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I shot him and he fell right there. I'm sitting there. I hear another one walked out to the dead deer was spilling the darn thing. I didn't shoot him, and I said, this stuff must work pretty dang good, So then I get the thing out and I'm reading the instructions in there, and it says, don't put it on you because a deer might attack you. So now I got to pick them balls up going back to the truck. I'm thinking, man, this stuff, I got to watch this getting out of here. I know they let him know that I was using it, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I had something I passed, so this would have been probably 1989, 88, 89, and I'm driving down the road in Virginia in a Tinks truck. And I to this day, I don't know if it was the founder or just a guy that worked for him or whatever, but anyhow, I was going hunting and I had a hat sitting on the dashboard, and I had some Tinks I had bought sitting on the dashboard. He saw that, so he pointed and asked me to pull over. So I pulled over and got out. He says, I see you're using our stuff. And I was like, yes, sir. And he said, well, I'd like to give you a hat. And he gave me a hat. And I think he might have given me another bottle of it and everything. But he just stopped me on the road and handed that stuff to me. And
we took him hunting. He came to the Buckmasters. You know, Tinks was something else.
Oh, boy, it was huge.
Yeah, he was a character.
It was Tink Nathan? Yeah. Is that right? Yeah.
I don't know. I reckon he's still alive. I don't know if he's still alive or not.
No.
Is he alive?
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
I don't know. He was at the Harrisburg show, and I bet he set bow hunting back a little bit.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, them bow hunting folks were watching his videos up there, and they were just cringing.
Right.
Oh, boy.
You know, he was trying to show us how them arrows killed, and it wasn't good.
That's not good.
No, it wasn't good.
No, we had but like back then, I do remember this, and you might know it, but like camouflage has changed a bunch.
Oh, God, yeah.
Jim Crumley had come out with tree bark camouflage.
Jim Crumley was here at that turkey thing with
really?
Of course he was.
Yeah. And I got a complete set of the first tree bark he got in the closet.
I think I still have
a brand new whole set of it I got. Then we went to Bill Jordan came over here when Crumley was here. And Bill had his pattern, but he hadn't got it going yet. Crumley wouldn't even look at it.
Really?
And
you guys wouldn't. I don't think that you've ever. Well, yeah, there's probably a picture or two that you guys would have seen me in it. It's like
gray and black.
Yeah, it looks just like bark.
Yeah.
And that was before Realtree?
Before Realtree, before Mossy Oak.
Then you had Realtree, and then we had one that we promoted, a fella in Orville called Hiding Pine, and Liberty did it. And they were doing pretty good with it, and we did promotional for them and all that. But then I think Bill Jordan said that he was not going to let them do his stuff if they had their own camouflage pattern. They just dropped it then because they did a lot. He did a lot of business with it. They made all his overalls and all that stuff. So I think that's where it dropped.
Yeah. It's made the camouflage has made like a full circle thing, where because there for a long time, Realtree and Mossy Oak ran the entire outdoor industry.
Did you see how them vests sold up there at the Turkey Federation?
Oh, yeah.
They auctioned that one off. It went for $31,000.
For a vest?
A fox vest, turkey hunting vest. They didn't have but 400 of them or something like that. And then
what was there?
Mossy Oak's daddy is 80 years old, and he made it, and it was a limited edition. They stood in line from 1 o'clock that night to get a ticket to get one of those.
Did they put a golden egg in it or what?
I don't know.
No, they just believe it's going to be a collector's item. It is a collector's item.
Because they were numbered, and it was 400 of them, and they sold all 400 of them for like $450 a piece, and you could have bought one and went out the door and sold it for $1,000.
Right.
Wow.
It was a line.
And one went for $31,000.
They auctioned one off at the turkey thing, and it went for $31,000.
Oh my Lord, that's insane.
My wife
better kill you a lot of turkeys.
Divorced me. Yeah. I married a young nurse to take care of me when I got old. If I wasn't married to her, I'd be dead 3 times now.
Well, we're sure glad you're still kicking, and I hope that you'll be here again next year when we come back.
Good Lord willing, and the creeks don't rise, we'll be here.
There you go.
We appreciate it.
Oh, yeah.
You got any more questions?
I enjoy y'all coming.
This has been a ton of fun. I think our listeners are going to love hearing some of these stories, and I hope that people can appreciate, just like it seems like every name that I am associating with when I started hunting, and mine for me is 40-some years ago, you not only know them, you've met them. They've been here. They've actually almost everyone that.
Yeah, everybody we say, he's like, yeah, he was here too.
It's kind of like.
I tell them, and they don't like it no more, but I tell a bunch of them that they talk, like, be around them, and they'll be talking about people call them legends and stuff.
Right.
I said, I made legends.
Yeah. Well, if you think about, I mean, like there's a saying out there. I think it's 2 ways to Kevin Bacon, the actor.
Yeah.
That any movie that anyone's been in, you can go one more, and then he'll have been in a movie with that person.
Yeah.
Well, I think you could be that exactly in the outdoor industry, because I don't think any one person is removed from having them in your lodge or you meeting them or hunting with them.
I had a fellow at the Turkey Festival last year. I was telling him some stories and stuff, and we sat there in the bar that night. And he said, "You need to write a book." I said, "Well, I would, but I can't write." And then he said, "Well, just tape it or something. Get somebody to put it down." I said, "Well, I forgot half of what I remember."
Oh no,
I forgot half of it, probably. And I got some guides that can I can talk to some guides I know when we was, pretty good.
Right.
One old boy took Ernie Calandrelli. He's the Quaker boy.
Yep.
All right. He took him hunting in his swamp down here, and he shot a deer. And on Mike Coburn, he told him, he said, "You stay right here, and I'm gonna go look for the deer so we don't get lost." So he went out there about 200 yards or so and got lit and hollered, "Hey, Ernie!" He said, "What?" He was following him. "You son, I told you to stay back there so we wouldn't get lost."
It's just the amount of history when you walk down this hall and you look at those pictures. It's crazy. I mean, especially
you ought to have seen it when we had this place full, and it was all full of Greeks and Italians from New York, and that was the biggest riot you'd ever seen in your life.
Oh boy!
Now I'll tell y'all one more story that was pretty good. We had a Bigfoot scare around here.
Oh, let's go.
Some fella.
This is what we've been waiting for.
Some fella right next to us, the kid scared him to death. He said Bigfoot come out in the field and walked around, and he stayed in the stand till 9 o'clock. And when he jumped out running, he shot his 9mm behind him. And I think he quit hunting. I'm not sure. But we had a fella come down here from Arkansas. We was a Bigfoot investigator, Mr. White. And he stayed here 3 days. Stayed out there. He said they talked to each other and all that, And so, but during this big scare, we thought we would just push it a little bit. So,
oh boy,
you can take a bongo drum and drill a hole in the middle of it and put a cotton clothesline in it and pull it through the bottom. So you got not the tops down here, and you pull it through the bottom. Make the string about that long, and get you some pine rosin off one of these trees and get on your fingers, and you pull that cord, and you make that thing sound bad. It'll go, and I mean it would. You did it in the dark, it'd scare you. You know what I'm talking about? That's how bad it was. If you got folks hunting on your line or something, you can back them up. But they ain't going to stay there. Ain't nobody going to stay there in the dark and don't know what that is. But my guide put 4 hunters down the road there, and I got on the hill that day, and he says, "You just fire that joke up at 5 o'clock. So we did. 5 o'clock, I fired it up. We come back here and got in the house, and nobody said a word. Nobody brought it up at all. So then the next day, I said, well, they might not have heard it. So the guy and another one sat out on the road and listened the next evening, fired it up. Well, they heard it. We know they heard it. Came back in, nobody said a word. So this other fellow from New York, I told him about it. He said, well, we'll see. He walked out there and said, y'all know I heard the damnest stuff in the woods this day? And when he did that, all of them came clean. One of them said, it must have been a lion from the zoo or something. The other one was halfway back to the house, I think. He done got out there. He done hit the road. And then I told the guy, I said, now you started this. What you going to do with your hunting about this? He said, well, in the morning, come in through the kitchen and do it in the kitchen when they're eating breakfast. And we did it. And they were real good sports about it, but it was.
Did they come back?
Oh, yeah, they still kept
How did you guys figure that out, the sound that would make?
I think a fella told me that I knew from up in Birmingham. He told me about it. And I had a fella in the pawn shop business. He got me the bongo drum. But if you practiced with it,
you can make it.
You can make it sound bad. I'm telling you, real bad.
The extent of that joke is great.
That's hilarious.
That's awesome.
And we, we did it, and it was. And then we did. I had a fella send a $600 Bigfoot suit down here.
Oh, man.
And we had a boy from Georgia that he was scared to death of it. And I got in the suit and run through the woods right here with it. Logan held a trail camera and took pictures of me. And then when we finally did all the pictures, we picked the ones where it's vague, where you didn't know. And I told that little boy from Georgia, he got through hunting that. I said, Thomas, I didn't show you these pictures when you got here because I figured you wouldn't go hunting. And he and his brother got there looking at it. I know it was him.
Yeah.
But it's been all kind of stuff like that.
So did the gentleman that came to investigate, what he left with saying, yes, there's for sure one here?
No, he's got 3 sightings in Lowndes County. He interviewed the folks. One was a game warden, one was a black man, and then another one. And this fella down here, because we got him to come talk to him too. And that could have been, Ben Lee might have been hunting with us. That might have been Ben Lee because he smelled bad and he didn't stay on the place and all that, so I don't know.
So it could have been him wandering around.
Could have been him wandering around out there, but I don't know that.
A warden said that he saw one?
Yeah, I think it was a warden over here in the other end of the county. You know where the largest sighting, most sightings were?
Where?
In Clark County, south of here on the river. Like 30 sightings or something.
And is there a lot of people around there?
No, but it's a dry county and there's a lot of whiskey stills.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Have to keep them out of the woods.
Right. Maybe what we heard was
my daughter and son were going to Houston one time, and they were down there in Louisiana going down where that big bridge, where all that swamp is going through there. They swam down, one run across the road in front of them down there. Came out, went across them.
Who claims that?
My daughter and Logan, my youngest daughter. And they said they sat there in the truck for the longest, didn't say nothing to each other. And finally one of them said to the other, you see that? Yeah. We can't say nothing about this, can we?
We're going to have to ask them on a Sasquatch interview.
Yeah, we can't talk about this.
That's a whole Bigfoot podcast.
Oh, I went to California. I went to California on my 25th wedding anniversary because all I wanted to see was the redwood trees. I'm a big tree lover. I love trees. And they big,
Yeah.
Every town out there's got a Bigfoot museum. It's the biggest
Seriously?
money maker out there. You can buy any kind of Bigfoot paraphernalia you want to in any town in Northern California.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, keychain, maps, everything.
Maps?
Well, theirs isn't because of the
Where to find them, where
distilleries. Theirs is because of the
And
drugs
they
they
just push
got.
it because it's a money maker. I mean, that's a big money maker out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But that's where you go.
All right. Well,
I appreciate y'all coming. And
No.
see you next year because
our play's
Hopefully
been
we'll be
out
back.
now
there.
we're going to do it again.
Oh, we'll be back.
We got to be back to defend our title.
Yeah, I know it.
So
We got some good guys, too. The guys are real good.
really good.
Real good.
They're awesome.
Yeah, that's why people coming back. They like the guys that they've been with. And,
You get to create relationships with a lot of people, and you get to see them once a year.
oh, yeah. Like I told you, when in the Buckmaster, they used to let school out on Friday.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
They call it Buckmaster Day.
That works.
That's so cool.
All right, guys.
All right, well, I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. We sure appreciate it. And so for all you listening, we just want to say thank you again. We're coming to you from the Southern Sportsman Lodge in Alabama. We're sitting here with Mr. Jim, and this has been one of the best, in my opinion, one of the best podcasts we've ever done. If you are listening, please give us a review. Let your friends know. The podcast keeps growing, and we want to keep doing it, and we love being able to visit with folks like him. And so
plug your spices one more time where everybody can find
Cracker
us.
Boy Seasoning is under Southern Sportsman Seasoning.
Southern Boy
Southern
Seasoning.
Southern Sportsman
Cracker
Southern,
Boy.
and it's
seasoning.
Cracker Boy Seasoning, but on the internet it's Southern Sportsman Seasoning.
Southern Sportsman Seasoning. So
Yep.
you need to season your wild game. Southern Sportsman Seasoning.
particularly chicken.
Yeah.
Wild or domestic.
I think we cooked 300 pieces of chicken the other day for that.
It was good. I can vouch for that. All right, guys, we're out of here. We sure appreciate you. Peace. See you next time.